I work for GeoSolutions since the beginning. Just a few quick facts about GeoSolutions. It was founded in late 2006 by me and Simone Giannecchini, and then later on we started suddenly to work on open source projects like GeoServer. And then Andrea Aime joined, and other people along the street. Our expertise is on geospatial data fusion, web mashups, mobile applications, but we also are involved in OGC, ISO, and INSPIRE standards. We are supporting and developing for many Phosphor-G projects, like MapStore, GeoServer, GeoNetwork, SIG, and GeoNode. In particular, me are part of GeoNode Project Steering Committee and GeoServer Project Steering Committee. I also core developer for GeoTools, at least once. It's a long time that I don't commit anything GeoTools, but anyway. And also I do some contribution around on other Phosphor-G projects as I can. I also offer some of my spare time to contribute to the open source projects. Today I'm gonna talk about GeoNode. Don't know if you know about GeoNode already. GeoNode basically, it's a spatial data infrastructure. It's a web portal that aims to help people, non-specialized people, non-JS expert people, let's say, to share data, collect data, and use data. The name is significant because GeoNode aims to be part of a network of many GeoNodes. So the idea here is to use the platform, is to make the platform easy to use and accessible to people, so that they are incentivized to share their data as much as possible, collect the data on the field with instruments, GPS instruments, through OpenStreetMap and through other open source platform, and use data, so reuse data from other GeoNodes, other platform, and create more products and analysis out of the data available on their instance and other instance. Along the presentation, we will see several practical examples on how this is possible. Why it's so important to share data, in particular good data, along with good metadata. I'm just want you to know about a use case, the risk management use case. Is the first use case that started the GeoNode development. Basically, one of the biggest issues of the risk management stuff is the lack of data, are also the gaps on data, but in particular the lack of data and information available, and the difficulty to collect data and to search for data. In particular, in places that are mainly affected by risks and hazards, it is very difficult to find people which is expert. So the goal of GeoNode was to help people to collect data and share their data in order to help managers to analyze data, use data, and create assessments in order to easily recover from these resources, or to make better plans for the future. GeoNode is open source, of course. As I said before, it's a platform for the management and publication of geospatial data. It is based on top of very mature open source projects, because it uses under the hood GeoServer or QGIS as geospatial server, and PyCSW and GeoNetwork as metadata catalogs. And as a database layer, it uses usually, most of the time, it uses PostGIS. It is made for users that log into the platform and they can use their website functionalities and have a human-friendly interface that helps them to their tasks. It is made for administrators that want to install different instances of GeoNode, even local, and create production sites and the network of GeoNodes. It is made for developers that can easily customize GeoNode, that can easily create plugins for GeoNode in order to create added value application on top of GeoNode and the data and metadata collected on GeoNode. So GeoNode, it's not a way to substitute something that is already there. GeoNode doesn't want to substitute PyCSW or GeoServer. It just wants to make those fantastic tools to be more accessible and easy to use to people which is not a really GIS expert. With GeoNode, you have easy ways to get geospatial data from several sources. You can do directly from the user interface. You can push the data into your server. Then the data is securely collected into the geospatial server. GeoNode also provides interface to edit the metadata easily and to update the catalog. And also, it can be improved with plugins and applications that allows you to create additional products on other data or metadata out of the collected data. It uses open standards, of course, thanks to the geospatial server and catalogs that it uses. The data that you put into the server is already available through the open standards, the OpenGC standards. So it is interoperable. Your data is searchable through a catalog service. Your data is usable through an OSGeo compliant client. Some very quick overview of the functionalities of the GeoNode interface. It provides an easy way to upload the shape, not the shapefile, but the several kind of geospatial data directly to the portal interface. It allows you to styling data directly there, directly through the user interface. Of course, it's not one of the best styler that you ever seen, but at least it allows you to do most of the things, at least common things that you can do with vectorial data. It allows you also to edit the feature directly through the interface, thanks to the WFS transactional protocol. Everything is secured because GeoNode checks, along with the GeoServer security as an instance, that the logged in users have rights to actually modify and edit the data and the metadata. It has a good permission matrix that allow an administrator of the portal to decide who can visualize data, who can download data, who can edit metadata, and so on. And also provides quick links to download both data and metadata directly. It also has, let's say, a tentative to be a bit more social. I mean, GeoNode aims to create a small community for the contributors of the platform. So it provides instruments and let's say tweaks in order to help people to collaborate each other, so to incentivate to improve the quality of the data, to incentivate to improve the quality of the metadata, to rate the data that is available. There is also the possibility to enable advanced workflows where members of the group can validate the data before the data becomes available to the public. So somehow GeoNode tries to help people to improve the quality of the things that are there. This is a very high-level architectural scheme of GeoNode. We have GeoNode is based on Django framework, which is a web framework, quite powerful actually. Under the hood, it uses very mature open source projects, as I said before. On the top, the GIS clients available are pluggable, and the default one it's very old. It's written in GeoExt, but there are other implementation written in React, and both of them make use of open layers or leaflet. Many GeoNodes. GeoNode, okay, of course, the default GeoNode, if you get the project and install, most probably won't match your needs, at least not all your needs. But we don't want to reinvent the wheel, and also we do not want to incentivize people to fork the project and create a specific customization, even because suddenly they will lose the contact with the original branch. Okay, so there are ways to create customization of GeoNode thanks to the power of the Django framework that allows you, with very few passages and steps, to create a customized version of the portal. Aside of GeoNode, there is another project which is called GeoNode Project, which is basically a Django template. Is a template, allows you to create a materialized instance of an application, of a Django application, which uses GeoNode as a dependency. So you can start with a minimal project that allows you to override almost all the pieces of GeoNode, so you can customize exactly the things that you want without touching the core of GeoNode. If you find, at least this is what we try to say to our customers, if we find that there is a functionality that must be improved as a core functionality, which is useful in general, which can be improved, the GeoNode in general, in that case, the best approach is to extract that functionalities from GeoNode and backport to the original branch. So this is, on our point of view, the correct way to create GeoNode instances. What you can customize? You can customize almost everything, as I said. You can customize the look and feel, you can extend the model, you can create new features and attach new application, because Django it's really pluggable, without sacrificing versatility, without sacrificing your specific needs. I will go quickly with just a summary of several GeoNode customization that we did in the past. This first use case was a project for the project actually where we started with. It's a project for the Caribbean Community for Climate and Change Center. In that case, they have a very, let's say, hard use case, because the problem here is that they have a lot of spread data centers that are mostly isolated. Most of the time, there is no internet connection. They cannot communicate with each other. So the problem was to help those spots to collect the data locally, and then whenever a connection was available, to share the data with a central point and to get the data from the whole network in order to process the data and create more values locally. So in that case, we created a network of GeoNodes, of local instances of GeoNode. Then we created a central hub. In that case, it was made with the SICAN, with a central database, and the custom client that uses the GeoNode as a platform. So in that case, we didn't use the, let's say, completely the interface of GeoNode, but its APIs. So they did local processing, they produced local data, and then as soon as the connection was available again, they can share the data with the central hub and make it available to the other nodes. That allows them, for instance, to constantly update the meteorological information, like in this example here, and other data sets that they have to monitor the climate change. Another interesting project that we did for the World Bank was the implementation of specific tools, risk analysis tools, for the risk management and cost-benefit analysis as plugins, yes, let's say plugins, extension, let's say, of GeoNode platform. So they wanted to preserve all the GeoNode functionalities, but they also wanted to add those two instruments, those two plugins, in order to help people to easily analyze the risk data. So this is the customization of the look and feel that, as you can see, it's quite different from the original GeoNode interface. You can see also the top bar, the top menu have different voices. And this is the example of what we have did. Basically, we started with huge Excel files containing a lot of risk data analysis, and we had to transform those things in something that was human readable and human usable. So the outcome was this. We created several sections inside the GeoNode portals that were able, they have a backend part to process data, ingest data that was administrable by the GeoNode panel. And the processed data was ingested as layers and metadata into GeoNode in order to dynamically provide this kind of outcomes to the users. Much better than reading a huge Excel file with 10,000 of lines. This is also an example of the cost-benefit analysis. The concept is the same, basically, just the layout, it's a bit different. Don't know how much time I have.
2 minutes.
Ah, okay. Okay, so I'm going very quickly. Those are other customization, mostly on the layout, but also we have for some big customers like UNESCO, they wanted to give back to the community some important functionalities to the core of GeoNode, like the improvements of the metadata, ingestion workflow, temporal series, ingestion of KML and KMZ, and so on. This was a complete customization and refactoring of the GeoNode interface, not the backend. In that case, we have a complete workflow for the management of an emergency. So we have 3 phases: an early warning phase, an impact assessment phase, an emergency management phase. So the users were divided into 3 different groups, and each group was able to access to a specific and very customized part of the interface. And they were able to share annotations between each other in order to collaborate during an hazard assessment. Yeah, I guess more or less it's all. Just a few notes on the future, what we are working on. We are trying to transform this GeoNode project template into something that is very easily and quickly deployable into the cloud. So we are working on dockerizing images of GeoNode, GeoServer, the database, and so on, and the template in order to help people to easily and quickly create instances and customize their instances and publish them in matter of minutes into the cloud. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Alessio. If there is any question to Alessio. Can you speak out loud and...
So, GeoNode, initially was a project from OpenGeo, then Boundless.
Yes.
Who is maintaining GeoNode right now, apart from you, I guess?
Yes. Well, currently, after GeoNode started, a community was created around GeoNode. So right now, GeoNode is maintained by the community mostly, but the new feature, the new development, and also the bug fixes are coming mostly from non-government organization that uses GeoNode, that have a lot of instances of GeoNode currently published and deployed on their sites. So mostly there are, without forgetting anyone, mostly the World Bank. It's putting a lot of effort on GeoNode, and also it was one of the starter of GeoNode. UNESCO is putting a lot of effort on GeoNode, but also IGAD. GeoNode is also used by JRC, the World Food Program. So yeah, there are a lot of people around that. And recently also the Norwegian Institute of Nature that it's willing to do improvements and developments of GeoNode. And the nice thing, if I can add something, is that GeoNode, it's, I mean, if a company like this want to create an internal staff of developer, it's not so hard because it's written in Python. The code per se, it's quite straight, except if you have to do very specific and hard geospatial management or analysis. So, as an instance for the use case of the National Institute of Norway, they are asking help to us to train their internal developers, and then they are willing to contribute back to the GeoNode community. And this is very good, I guess.
Thank you, Alessio. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ricardo. Alessio did the workshop yesterday about GeoNode, and he is also here, and Geo Solutions has a booth there. So if you have more questions,
yes, sure.
Please find Alessio and the Geo Solutions team at the booth. So I would call Jan to make his presentation. Thank you, Alessio.